Welcome to a Leader's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Joel Gunn, and I have Mandy Smith back with me again today. Mandy, welcome back.
Hello.
The last episode was a lot of fun. Mandy went where a lot of business people don't go, which is to talk about the kind of darker side of being a business owner, and had some really good insights and some good tips and great encouragement at the end. So if you haven't watched that episode, please do. But today we were talking about a place to go would be that place of overwhelm.
Yeah, I think you know me well, so I don't really go to the dark places, but I think we're going to go to another dark place again here, because when you first become a business owner and the challenges start to hit you, you think, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to make it through it. And then from being in the right peer groups, getting the right coaches, surrounding yourself with other business owners and the right people, you realize now where I'm at. And again, I'm only almost 7 years in being a business owner. There is nothing. And I know people say never. There's nothing that can come my way that I know that I can't get through, because I'm resourceful. You learn to be resourceful when you're a business owner, because I remember the first time I got sued, I was like, and I asked someone, another business owner that I'm friends with, he's like, it's just an inconvenience and it's an expensive inconvenience. I was like, but oh my God, what am I going to do? It's this. Now I'm coaching this one girl, and she owns an insurance company. She's like, I'm getting sued. I'm like, it's just going to be an inconvenience, an expensive inconvenience. And that's what it is. And so I'm not scared for the call of like, I'll feel the initial like, ooh. And then I'm like, who can I call? Who can I call? Who can help me? Mm-hmm. And then I figure it out. And then those are the little challenges that you go through as a business owner. It makes you stand up a little taller, that you don't post on social media about, or you don't tell your friends about. It's just this capability that God has given me, mm-hmm. where I know, because, and I know a lot of people, some people aren't, some people don't have a spiritual side, but the majority of people do. But God has just given that to me of like, there's people all around you. Who can you call? And I'll stop and just be quiet and listen to my heart. I'm like, I'm going to call so-and-so. I'm going to call so-and-so. And then they're going to guide me to so-and-so. And then I'll call so-and-so, and it's the customer service number for the IRS. And they're like, yes, you just do this, and that. And the mailing, I'm like, that wasn't a scary IRS letter. I got through it. My CPA, my financial guy, my coach, like everybody helped me get through it. So I don't get scared of IRS letters or lawsuits or whatever. It's like, let's just deal with it. Let's get the documentation in line. And then when you lose an employee, like my first one, I was like, oh my God. Now I'm like, well, I wonder who's gonna be on the boat, who's gonna stay on the bus this time. And mm-hmm. it used to be very catastrophic for me in the very beginning. And now it's like, it's just business. Mm-hmm. It's really just business.
You mentioned something that triggered a thought in the Bible. It talks about this, what I call this cycle, where trials, I forget the exact wording, but basically trials produce patience, patience, perseverance, perseverance, character, character, hope.
That's me. Right? Thank you, Lord.
And so what you described is, as you go through that trial, you get through it. Well, now you've got that experience because you persevered through it. Yes. It gave you some character, but it also produced the hope of next time you come up against something, well, you can look back and go, I've been to something similar before and I made it through. So I could probably make it through this next one. And then now you've made it through 2 cycles, and the third one comes along and you're like, this is a little different, but I made it through those 2, so I can make it through the third one.
Yes.
Right. And so you're 6-7 years into being a business owner. You've had a few of those cycles. And so that's actually creating confidence that there's nothing, as you said, you and God can't tackle.
Yeah. And right? You know what? Nobody knows that confidence. It's like all in my head. It's like, what are you going to tell? I'm so confident. I don't tell anybody, but I feel so capable and confident that everything that God has brought me through, and the people who I surround myself with, other business people, I'm so like thankful for them. And now I'm able to do that for others.
Mhm.
And so I see like the good cycle starting to, the giving back part of it where I can be there for someone else too.
One of the things that's been fun walking with you on this journey the last 5 or so years is this has really empowered you, right? You were always a strong person because that's how you're wired. But this has moved from just being a strong personality to being an empowered person.
Yes.
And that's different. It may sound similar, but it really is different because empowered, you feel it. Like you've earned it, right?
Yeah, and you can't tell anybody about it. It's just like this inside feeling that feels so good.
Yeah, But you've persevered through the tough stuff, and the really important part I think of empowerment is not just the fact that you've been given power or trust or responsibility, but now you're sharing what you've learned with others, and that's really the important part I think of empowerment is when somebody takes what they've received and turn around and give it back. And so kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
And it's different, right? Because you were talking about in the previous episode, when you were the rock star earning more than your bosses, right? Because you're in business development. And then it was very easy to become self-centered.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But as a business owner, you're only going to be successful if you can help others succeed.
Yes.
And so you've got to become less self-centered, more selfless.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said that so beautifully in the last episode. But how do you deal with that moment or moments where you realize, man, I'm kind of in this overwhelmed state?
Two things. The first thing I do is I don't react right away. Like say somebody says something, I'm like, oh my God, like it hits me. I'll say, you know what, let me process that. I have a couple more meetings and I'll circle back with you in the morning. And then I will make sure everything's in line. And then I will go do my alone time and self-care up. And self-care isn't going to the spa. It's going a long walk without my phone, without an audiobook, walk the dog, take a hot shower, get in bed early, journal, and then think like, who do I call tomorrow? What is my plan? Let me have a plan in line, because when you're a mentee and you go to a mentor, you don't want to waste their time. You want to be like, okay, here's my problem. I got sued. I got sued by this phone company that I signed this. This is how much I paid. These are my options I think I'm supposed to do. Have you ever been in experience with a vendor and then they're like, yes, do that X, Y, and Z. Then you go do it and you come back and report to your mentor what you've done. And then that's how a mentee mentor works. And so that's what I would do. I would go home and self-care up and take care of myself. Not what I used to do in the past. Of the very beginning of, I would go have a drink. I got a drink. I need a wine. Let me just have a drink. Let me get some food. And I would feed myself to soothe myself. And now I just have way healthier ways of soothing myself and processing out without reacting. Mm-hmm. And self-care up to process in time and think what I'm going to do the next day. Because I didn't do it in the past and I would like react and I'm like, oh, that was wrong. Mm-hmm. So
I think what you shared there about that, thinking about tomorrow tonight, I think that's huge, because a lot of people end up going to bed mulling it over and they don't sleep well. Mm-hmm. So then they're not as rested the next day to face the difficulty.
I have gone to bed at 10 and still got up at 3. So I didn't get the best sleep. And I'm like, oh, when are they going to wake up so I can text them if I can meet with them today, or I need a quick call. Those I've never had a sleepless night, mm-hmm. but those tough nights, that it's real. Mm-hmm. It's real.
Did you find that the planning, as you implemented this practice of planning out tomorrow, tonight, did that help you sleep better? Did it calm your mind? Did it calm your soul at all?
I learned it from my husband, which was the question I asked myself is, what are my options? Like, what are your options? What are your options? And I don't want to give him my stuff on top of all his stuff. So I say, I know what he's going to say. What are my options? Well, I don't even need to tell him about this tonight. So what are my options? Then who can I call? And then I'll say, hey, guess what? I got a letter. I got sued by this phone company that I didn't even sign. Da, 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 da. And he'll be like, well, what did you do? I'm like, well, I called, our attorney Woody, and I da, 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 da. We got on this. And Adam's like, look at you. I'm like, I know, because I don't run to him for everything. I'm learning to be self-sufficient and independent because he's taught me by saying, well, what are your options? Who can you call?
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. When so you've talked about slow down and self-care. How do you re-engage the person that created you the stress or the company? Like, what's that? Like you've said, let me get back to you. So now do you try to do face-to-face? Do you do phone? Do you do email? Do you what seems to work best for you?
AI has been really good.
Okay.
For analytical vendors or partners that I'm like, I need them to know I respect. Because I'm direct, quick to the point. Give me this in one sentence synopsis. And analytical people, they need the why, they need this. So that it really helps me give them what they need, mm-hmm. so we can get what each other wants via email. And then I'll say, think about this over, and then let's get on a call, or feel free to respond so I have time to mull it over too. And then we can jump on a call. So that's really helped. Sometimes with personnel, I put one of my managers that I know is going to be a good go-between. I'm like, hey, Betty said this. What are your thoughts on that? And we collaborate and brainstorm over it. And then I let Betty follow up with her. And sometimes I get people involved and AI involved. I get help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. It's been as you know, I've spoken on AI and encouraged a lot of people to try it. And I'm finding more and more people say that processing their thoughts through an AI, having it put it in a more professional tone or friendlier tone, or what they're describing that it's making, it's de-escalating the conflict.
Yes, because my personality type, a D, one of the negatives on the DISC program, it says, we move so fast, we don't have regard for other people's feelings. And that's really not, it's just how we come off. Mm-hmm. And so I would agree with you. It helps me give them what they need, the information that they need, because I want to give them what they need, and I want to help them understand.
That's good. That's good. Well, thanks again for your time and going down another little bit of the dark side of leadership and business ownership. I actually appreciate that candid. I enjoy these kinds of conversations because, like you said in the last episode, there is joy in owning a business. There is joy in being a leader if you're doing it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. And so it is, I would love to see everybody embrace how they're wired. And if they have that desire to be a leader, go for it.
Yes.
Let me encourage you, but to your point, do it with some thought.
Yes.
Any final thoughts for us?
Oh, I would say, I'm glad you said that owning a business, I feel so privileged, and I'm so thankful that I get to have my own business. I never thought it was possible, but when you don't give up and you are resourceful, business ownership really is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I agree. Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of A Leader's Journey podcast. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to our channel.